Greetings. A number of you have seen my interview with Alasdair MacLeod, and they've asked me to just focus just a little bit, just a short clip on the implications of central bank digital currency. By the way, Alasdair MacLeod is regarded as one of the world's leading experts on banks and money. Very good of him to give me his time. And so I take a lot of what he tells me very seriously. But I digress. Let's just talk about the central bank situation when it comes to digital currencies. The governor of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, was trapped a little bit into actually explaining that this is a method of control of money, control of your money. Something that I have been talking about for some time, and I've been told I'm a conspiracy theorist, but it's what is quite interesting at the moment that an awful lot of conspiracy theorists turn out to be actually right. I suspect I shall be no exception. I have said for some time it's a system of control of your money. Now, if you go back to the 1970s, you'll find that the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, bailed out Britain when we had a socialist government, and the Chancellor Dennis Healey had to go to Switzerland and kowtow to what he called the gnomes of Zurich. And they spent far too much money, and they weren't getting enough money in, and Great Britain was bankrupt and we were bailed out. Now, the IMF doesn't work like that anymore. It used to be sort of the one sensible organisation, institution on the face of the planet that understood money and how you can't spend more than you earn. That's all now gone now. It's become sort of globalised and politicised. Now, the central bank is your lender of last resort. That's your underpin for your commercial banks. So when the commercial banks go broke, what actually happens is the central bank steps in to underwrite them and save them. And we've seen that in various countries over various decades. And that's how it works. Now, the problem that we have at the moment is the central banks themselves are insolvent. So everybody's broke. And that gives us a bit of a problem because there's no free lunch. There's no getting a bailout now except through printing money and turning the handle. So that's why they're looking at digital currencies because they can create it very easily electronically, which they do now anyway. But it gives them a system of control. And she was quite open about that, although everybody's been denying that. Everybody in senior banking and senior office and politics has been denying that. It's a method of control. It's going to control you. So she was quite upfront that it will mean that they can control what you can and cannot spend your money on. And she was talking about as low as 300 euros. So, for example, in order to come in with the World Economic Forum diktat, as it were, on global environmentalism and so on and so forth, that you will not, it goes in with our 15-minute cities, that they will be able to control what you spend. So if you've had your holiday, you've flown on your holiday and you want to go on another one, it will just click up on the screen and they'll say, no, you've had your whack. You've had your whack now, you've had your holiday, you can't go on another one. And this is the kind of control that they can have. Or if you go into a shop and you want to buy XYZ, they say, no, you've had your ration of beef. You can't buy any more beef. Or whatever it is, whatever is their idea of the day, their environmental fake science of the day. So it is a system of control. And it's for the first time, she's admitted it's about political control. And she's pretending, oh, it's terrorism and it's this and it's that and so on and so on. It's all for our own benefit. Everything these World Economic Forum stooges do is apparently for our own benefit. But of course, we all know that it isn't. Certainly my subscribers know that it isn't. We're onto it. And people are getting more onto it all the time. So this is a situation. Now, if you look at my interview with Alasdair MacLeod, he relaxed me a little bit on this because he is an expert, and he was explaining that it is so ludicrous, this system. It's so ludicrous what they're proposing that it can't work, and we're not to lose any sleep over it. Keep an eye on it by all means, but it's so ludicrous it can't conceivably work because the banks won't want it to work. The commercial banks, it's not in their interest. And who actually subsidises politicians? It's the commercial banks. They're the donors, especially in America, of course. It's all about big business and banks, and we know that. So he doesn't seem to think it's going to work, and it's worth looking at that interview in its entirety. I think you'll find it's quite interesting. But bear in mind this quotation from the Rothschild, himself, well over 100 years ago. It doesn't matter who you vote for. It's who controls the money. That's the game. And it doesn't matter whether it's central banks, commercial banks, oligarchs like Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos or George Soros or all these people. Control of the money is the game. Control of the money is the game, not who you vote for. It doesn't make the slightest bit of difference who you vote for, but I think you're beginning to find that out for yourself, aren't you? As most of you know, my work is very heavily independently research-based, and I get my information from all over the world. It would help if you press the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, because the more subscribers I have, the more likely it is that international independent research institutes will share their material with me. It's most helpful, and then of course I'll automatically share it with you. So, surprise, won't cost you anything. Thank you very much.